That Niner game sucked too.
Yeah, I'm laughing. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Uprise podcast. Today is Wednesday, November 13th. Blazers have their second game of a back-to-back tonight against the Toronto Raptors. That's going to be a tough game for them to win. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Last night they fell to the Sacramento Kings. They fell by a score of 107 to 99. It was a game they definitely should have won. Definitely were the more talented team. Sacramento was playing without De'Aaron Fox. They were playing without Marvin Bagley. Yet Portland still could not get the job done, and they fall to 4-7. They have a very rough schedule coming up, and this early season stretch has not been fun. It's been pretty stressful as a diehard Blazer fan. It hasn't been what we were expecting going into the season. Obviously, Blazers are very banged up, very hurt. But at the same time, we've been losing to teams that are just as banged up as we are, maybe worse. So we'll talk about last night's game because the stream that I had last night, the internet was very, very spotty. So hopefully that's better. It already seems better right off the bat. If our audio isn't fully synced up with our mouths, then let us know because the setup's been kind of weird lately. So I'm trying to make sure everything is good on the broadcasting end of this. And also, we'll get into your questions a little bit later. But first off, I think we got to start off with the Sacramento Kings, Portland Trail Blazers. I didn't watch a good part of that game. I tuned in about halfway through the third quarter at a rec league game. So, Eric, I want your thoughts on that since I know you watched that.
So in the first quarter, it looked like we were going to run them out of the gym. Like they had no business playing with us. We got off to I think we were up 18-8 at one point, and their only 8 points were all, you say it better, Bezlita,
Bielitsa.
Bielitsa.
There you go.
So first play of the game, Hazonia was guarding him, and he inexplicably just sags to the paint and leaves him wide open for a kick out three, even though he was not in position to help on a drive or anything.
And that's been a big problem with us is overhelping or just not being in the right position given the situation.
Yeah, I don't mean to single out Hazonia because even Dame and CJ and everyone's been doing that almost every game. Bazemore's been caught in some key situations like that. But yeah, it's frustrating when it's first play of the game. You should have your defense set, and you're sagging off like that. And then their next possession, he does that thing where he doesn't go for the defensive rebounds. He starts heading down the floor. So he does that, and he goes in, gets offensive putback. So that was their first 5 points. Then he shot a logo three, a Dame level three, and it was way off, but it bounced off the rim and went back in.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to shout out Elias again real quick?
Oh yeah, Elias. Shout out to Elias for the $2 donation. That game last night cost me my 6-game parlay. That's sad, man.
Sucks.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That game should not have been the game that cost you your parlay.
So
appreciate the $2 dono though.
And this is what's frustrating. I don't mean to always bash thoughts, but we've talked a lot about how Lillard should not be playing 40 minutes in these games. And so I thought we got up 18-8. I thought it would have been a perfect opportunity with about 5 minutes left in the first to switch it up a little bit, give Dame a little extra rest because since that was our fourth game out of a 5-7 night stretch. So I thought, just put Simons in, take Dame and CJ out. If they struggle, you have a 10-point lead, you can put them back in at the beginning of the second quarter and then deal with it later, the repercussions of that. But if they keep the lead or whatever, we get Dame, he could rest his normal second quarter time too, right? So instead of doing that, he puts Simons in and doesn't take either Dame or CJ out. And then he plays Dame the whole first quarter, and we lost the lead anyway with Dame and CJ and Simons in the game because that's not a good team to go small against because They have some bigger type guards, and
Yeah, you got Harrison Barnes there as the small forward. Bogdanovich is a decently sized small forward. Buddy Hield is taller than Simons, CJ, and Dame at the shooting guard spot. Yeah, that I don't know. I haven't minded the 3 guard lineup, but
right,
yeah, definitely got to find spots to get Dame rest. And every time we get up 10 points, we end up losing the lead anyway.
right,
It's almost like, okay, might as well just give Dame some rest because, I have no confidence keeping a 10 point lead. Like if we end up 10 tonight to the Toronto Raptors, I'm fully expecting them to come back within 3-4 minutes because that's been the story every time we've gotten up 10 points this entire season.
yeah.
No, I don't expect us to be up 10 points tonight, but yeah.
We just can't seem to put teams away. But yeah, like so Dame ended up sitting over 8 minutes in the second quarter. He didn't come back until under 4 minutes to go. But
That's the second game in a row that Stotts has done that.
yeah, which you could say, okay, well, what are you complaining about? He sat for 8 minutes, but like we like I said, we could have possibly kept the lead. Who knows what would have happened? I know it's a bit of a hindsight, but like I said it at the time with like 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Take Dame out right now. Why every single game does Dame have to play the first quarter, the entire first quarter, every single game? He never comes out in the first quarter. Like, why is that? Like, you need to sneak him some minutes of rest so he's fresher at the end of the game. And he wasn't like Dame was super efficient last night, but he wasn't like trying to take over or anything either.
Yeah.
So if he's not going like nuclear Dame, you might. I don't know. I just think you should sub him out sometimes, and then sometimes leave CJ in instead of Dame, instead of subbing CJ out. I just don't get why rotations sometimes aren't game related and not like set in stone before the game even starts.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, man. And I mean, like you could get Anthony, Anthony, Dame, and CJ should be the only guys playing the 1 and the 2.
Yeah. Sure.
With the way our small forwards are, we shouldn't be moving Bazemore over to play some 2 with Anthony as the 1 with both Dame and CJ out of the game. Because then we have to play a guy like Hazonia more minutes at small forward, and we need him to play power forward. Or we have to play Gary Trent Jr. 14, 15 minutes. And I heard that he had a solid game last night, but I'd rather get Anthony Simons more minutes playing him at the guard spot, staggering him. That's what I think they should do. They should stagger him like they used to. Get 35 minutes per game, not 38 and a half. And some people say, oh, it's only 3 minutes. I've seen the argument like, oh, it's a difference of 3 minutes. That doesn't add up. You exponentially get more worn the more minutes you play in a game. The difference between 35 minutes per game and 38 minutes per game is not the same difference as 0 minutes per game and 3 minutes per game.
Right.
And it adds up. Each minute gets exponentially more taxing as the game goes on. There's a bigger difference between 37, 38 minutes than 10 and 11 minutes. So Dame's playing over 38 minutes per game, man, and that's going to wear him out. That's going to tax him. And I was watching Chad Doing yesterday. You texted me and, saying, oh, Chad Doing actually criticized Stotts. And what Chad was criticizing was Stotts' usage of Dame and how much he was using Dame and playing Dame over 38 minutes per game, saying that there needs to be games where they rest Dame, they rest CJ. And I kind of agree if you're going to play him 38 minutes per game. Now we have a great third guard in Anthony Simons who could step in and we'd still have a chance to win that game. Anthony could play 36 minutes a game for Dame, and we don't really have a third guard, but Anthony's a good option to give guys like Dame and CJ rest for a game, or onto your point, rest during a game.
Yeah.
Like you got a guy that that's gotten hot and been just as good as CJ multiple games, and he's been really, really good. He had 5-game stretch where he scored over 13 points each game, and I don't believe he played more than 24 minutes, except for that one game he had 36. I forget who that was against, but he's getting like 15 points in 21 minutes. He should be playing 25 minutes per game, should be playing 26 minutes per game, and getting Dame and CJ a little bit more rest. That little extra time playing Simons could get him into more of a rhythm early on, could help him be better throughout the game, could get Dame and CJ more rest, because right now they're being absolutely taxed. So his use of his rotations with the guards have gotten weirder and weirder, sitting Dame 8 minutes and a half just to play him almost the entire second half, and then he's worn out at the end of the game. Doesn't make sense. And I don't know. He needs to stagger him. That's been my thing since the preseason.
Yep.
I don't know why he doesn't stagger him anymore.
Well, so we know they're not going to sit him games throughout the season. Maybe towards the end of the season, like last year, I think they sat Dame one game and CJ one game, and then they both sat the last game of the season when they were trying to lose on purpose. But so you need to have games where he only plays like 20 some minutes, and if you do that, so by taking him and giving him a longer rest in the first quarter, and then if you take him out in the third quarter around the 3 or 4 minute left mark, then it's possible he might not even have to come back in the game at certain points, and then you can just rest him the rest of the game. Now, I know that's not going to happen very often, but if you can sneak games, like 1 out of every 10 games, say he only has to play 20 minutes or something instead of 38, and we end up winning a game because of it, I think that not only bodes well for Dame throughout the season, but it bodes well for the players that are playing and helping this team win without Dame too. And that at some point we're going to need players to step up, because Dame can't do all this by himself.
Yeah.
He's putting up ridiculous numbers. But by playing the whole first quarter and the whole third quarter, you're basically saying that he has to either start the fourth and hope that they blow him out, which never really happens. That's about as likely as happening as them winning the game without Dame in there. So, like, why not just rest them more? It's just puzzling to me.
I mean, Stotts' response to all this, too, was, I thought, a bit ridiculous. He was very dismissive, saying, oh, we've done a study, 38.5 minutes per game, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then I've seen fans say, oh, well, CJ said he was fine. CJ's going to say he's fine. CJ's not going to say he's tired.
Same with Dame.
Dame's not going to say he's tired. They're competitors. So
I mean, I don't know.
They're the type of...
Go ahead.
They're the type of people to say, oh, I'd be fine playing 48 minutes. But they're not actually fine playing 48 minutes.
Yeah. And I don't know what more proof you need other than the playoffs the last few years where Dame has said he's tired and worn down. And that's a result of playing heavy minutes throughout the season, and it wears on you by the end of the season. So, I mean, I guess at this point, if we don't make the playoffs, it doesn't even matter if we wear Dame down. But, like, the thinking, if you want to be a playoff team and compete once you make the playoffs, like, you have to find a way for him to be more rested by the time we get there. And doing it this way is not going to do it. And Stotts even made a joke about, oh, well, Wilt played 40 minutes a game several times in his career. Like,
yeah,
it's not funny. You're freaking killing the dude. Like he's the franchise player. You should not run him into the ground in November. I don't care, like, what your study says.
Yeah. 100% agree. That response with Wilt, it's like the dude was 7'1" in an era where other teams didn't have guys to handle a guy who was 7'1" and athletic like that. Like, Wilt was a great player, but like dude was a man playing amongst boys basically. Dude, so I mean, yeah, he could play 40 minutes per game, but didn't his career like kind of fall off a little bit more quickly than it should have? I mean, I don't really know like his career timeline, but also, that was the 70s, you know what I mean? Like, let's be more advanced. It's 2019. Yeah. And that response from Terry was not a good response.
Well, the thing is, too, I mean, we're 4-7. It's not like we're 7-4 and sitting in good shape or something, and that's the reason he's playing big minutes. I mean, we're losing games anyway, so why not, like, why kill him and lose games? It's just driving me crazy. Like, there's no point in him doing this if we're not going to win games.
I mean, it's that, and then Scal not playing any power forward, but Tolliver playing some small ball center.
Oh, so
he's less scared to play Tolliver at the small ball center than he is. He's more scared to play Scal at power forward. It makes no sense.
So you said you missed the first half, so you would have gone crazy when you saw this. So for the sub, Simons and Tolliver came in because Whiteside got in foul trouble, and so they came in for Bazemore and Whiteside. So we had Dame, CJ, Simons, Tolliver, and Hazonia in the game. And Rashawn Holmes just like he was getting those easy dunks and dump off passes and stuff, and their bigger forwards were just going crazy. Oh, it's just so frustrating. Like, why not bring in Scal in that situation? And then he brought in
Yeah.
Scal later. And then where's
Uh-huh.
Little Ben? Little came in towards the end because Whiteside was in foul trouble or whatever. But like, he's not a part of the rotation. He's only come in like back with the starters when someone's in foul trouble or someone like 2 games ago
Mm-hmm.
Hazonia wasn't playing well, so he tried Little with the starters instead. But like, why not run Little with the second unit? And there was a point last night where it just seemed like no one had any energy. And it's like in those situations, just like Moses Brown actually played it for like 6 minutes or so.
Yeah, I saw that. I looked at the box score. I was like, Moses Brown got in the game? What the hell happened?
And he was active. I mean, he didn't really mess up anything. He had a shot that would look pretty good, didn't go in, but like he was hustling out there. So it's like when your team has no energy, put in guys like Horde and Little and Brown, and those guys at least will leave it on the floor. You don't have to worry about them like not bringing any
Yeah.
energy. They're going to do whatever they take to take advantage of those minutes. And
Yeah.
it's just frustrating that we don't ever do stuff like that. Like we have to stick to a rotation of guys like Tolliver and Hazonia who are sucking, but you won't try anything new with Little or
I mean, yeah. Not Nas, I don't see how he. I don't even think he'd shoot worse than Tolliver is shooting right now. Now, at least he probably wouldn't shoot as many like dumb threes because Tolliver shoots a lot of dumb threes.
yeah.
And at least he could grab a rebound because Tolliver, bro, look, the team cannot rebound with Tolliver on the floor. They can have Tolliver and Whiteside playing Tolliver at power forward, and that they can't rebound with Tolliver on the floor.
No.
It's just dude just doesn't really box out his guy. He doesn't go after the ball. Like it's like Whiteside or Scal is the only chance we have again to rebound when we have Tolliver on the floor. Even Hazonia, I've called out his struggles rebounding the ball as of late. So I don't know, man. I play Little because Little is going to go get those rebounds that Tolliver can't. Little is going to be a better defender than Tolliver is, and I'm not sure Little would shoot much worse. And he's a better cutter. He's going to be a better finisher around the rim. I don't understand why Tolliver is playing over Little. It's just Stotts not trusting a rookie and only playing the 34-year-old veteran, even though that 34-year-old veteran sucks. Dude sucks.
And that's
Dude's not a good player, man. He obviously isn't working. So do something else. Try something else. You got this energetic rookie on the bench who, when he gets in the game, you can see the energy level of the team pick up because, oh, the rookie's in. The rookie that plays hard. Like, okay, I'm a play hard too. Like, it's not as conscious as that. It's a little bit more subconscious. But when he's in the game, the energy level is better because dude plays with energy. So dude should play more. Because I think he's a better player than Tolliver, let alone, he has a better effect on his teammates. So honestly, tonight, I would start Nasir Little.
at the
You
form.
got Pascal Siakam, who's the best defender. Okay, maybe Hazonia. But start Little, see how he does. If he struggles early, sub in Mario at the, 3 minutes into the game. Start Little. Little's going to be pumped up. The crowd's going to have some energy right off the bat because they're going to be excited because Nasir Little is starting. And that's what I do tonight.
Yeah, I just like I guess we know why Olshey hasn't had vets on this team the last few years.
I mean, it's just ridiculous that Olshey has to make deliberate roster moves to get Terry to play the right guys. Like if it's up in the air, Terry seems to not play the right guy.
Yep.
Like he had to get rid of Ed Davis. He had to
Get rid of all the
let
guards.
Seth Curry go. You know what I mean? Anthony's better than Seth Curry. I think that Seth Curry would be playing over Anthony right now if we still had Seth Curry.
Yep.
He would be. That's Terry Stotts would play Seth Curry right now, even though Anthony's a better player than Seth Curry right now. That goes to show, his problem would not trust in the younger guys when they're obviously better than the guys ahead of him.
And guys like Layman and Vonleh who could actually help us right now. They didn't.
Yeah.
They got inconsistent roles and minutes and stuff, and we had to let them go because they weren't doing anything.
Yeah. Cody Franklin says, how much tension is there currently between Neil and Terry? Would be interesting to know. It would be interesting to know because Terry's probably feeling like, okay, you got me these crappy forwards. Now that we got some injuries, I can't play these guys. And I feel like Neil's like, I don't know. I feel like Neil probably doesn't think that Terry's handling this rotation right.
I'm gonna pile on Stotts again.
Let's do
I
it.
really don't mean to do it, but so I've heard him at Summer League. You know how they interview coaches and GMs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so this last summer, like, so what did you think about Little, like, during the draft room or whatever? And he's like, oh, I just let Terry or O'Shea handle that stuff. Like I don't get involved. I just make do with what I have and stuff. It's like, how can you be a coach in the NBA and not like want to be involved in what guys you have on your team and stuff like that? And that just drives me crazy. Like, I know if I was a coach, I would be in that draft room being like, no, I don't like this guy, like whatever. Like, it'd be one.
Oh, I'd be watching film on
Yeah,
these guys like crazy. I already watch film on these guys. I'm a basketball fan. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
So yeah,
I mean,
I know they have a relationship where Stotts doesn't mess with Olshea's business, and Olshea tries not to mess with Stotts' business. But Olshea definitely has made moves, like you mentioned, the Ed Davis move, where you're basically going to have to play Collins or something, or you don't have any options. But if Tolliver would have been on this team last year, Tolliver would have played over Collins. I guarantee it.
yeah. It'll be interesting because Cody says there's been tension between the two, I feel, even in past years. We have a meet and greet with Brian Wheeler December 12th, so that's about a month from now. But Brian Wheeler isn't employed by the team anymore, so could probably share some of the inside information that he has. Because I've done a meet and greet with him before. I don't think you were there, but dude had so much inside information into like the team, the relationships between players on the team. It was an enlightening like meet and greet. It was about 2-3 years ago. I think it was like 3 years ago, start of the season 3 years ago. So that's something that I will ask. I will ask about the relationship between Terry and Neil because it seems pretty good on the surface, but maybe there is tension behind that. That's probably something that I could get out of Brian Wheeler. Brian Wheeler would probably know, and then I'll come back to you guys and, you know, if I'm allowed to. So I'm assuming I would be because he's not employed by the team anymore. So I mean, who cares? But if I'm allowed to, I'm gonna come back, share some of these sound bites, get you guys some inside stuff from the man himself. If I'm allowed to, yeah.
Well, so I guess after the Pelican series, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if there was tension, because I mean, Olshea got a lot of the blame for that roster, but we weren't as bad as we played in that series. So I think Stotts was kind of rumored to be on the hot seat a little bit after that. And then they come back and make it to the Western Conference Finals, and then all of a sudden everyone gets extensions: Dame, CJ, Stotts, and Neil. So like this summer they had to have been feeling it, like not have any tension at all. They were probably thanking each other for those extensions and stuff. And yeah, I don't think there was any tension. But now, like going into the season when the expectations are that you're a championship level team, there definitely will start to be tension if they don't get out of this funk soon.
Yeah, for sure. Russell says, oh, by the way, I went to the Nets game where Dame dropped 60, and he seemed stressed out the whole game. Another way I think we can improve energy is players stepping up as hype guys. Nasir Little, for sure. Cody Franklin says, I'd appreciate that info. Neil has remained politically correct about his and Terry's relationship and had alluded to disagreements but downplayed the severity of them. So I'll definitely try and get some information on that. Trevin says, saw people saying Simon shouldn't be playing on a contending team on the comments of the Stotts video. I 100% disagree. Anthony Simons might be starting for the Los Angeles Lakers right now because they don't have a point guard better than Anthony Simons. So I disagree with that 100%. And Cody Franklin adding on, yeah, in Neil's eyes, they met expectations last year by making the Western Conference Finals. Naturally, you raised your ceiling to championship. I thought he improved the roster this past offseason, but we didn't. The mistakes he made was Hazonia and Tolliver. And I said that on our live stream.
Yeah.
We had our free agency live stream. And I said that, like, Hazonia is not good, man. Like, and people were like, oh, potential 5th overall pick. I got so much heat for that, man. What has this dude done?
Well,
dude shooting 31% from the field, 31% from 3, is getting an assist per game, even though he was supposed to be the next LeBron point forward type. He was supposed to be the Croatian LeBron point forward, the Croatian Ben Simmons. I got so much heat for that. I had people in my DMs like calling me names and stuff. Like, not, obviously not fans of this channel, just crazy Blazer fans. There's a section of guys like that. But, dude, Jonas Jerebko. Kenneth Faried.
Yeah.
We could add those guys, and we signed Hezonja and Tolliver.
Well, part of the problem too is, I mean, we couldn't afford losing Collins because he is the one person who can solve some of our defensive problems right now, and we don't have him for most of the season. But yeah, I feel like Neil in the past did everything to please Dame so he'd sign that Supermax, right?
Yeah.
And that was his one priority, which that should have been his one priority, because if Dame would have not signed it and left or demanded a trade or something, then
thank God he signed it this past summer, because we'd be panicking about Dame leaving right now.
Yeah.
Thank God we don't have to worry about that. That is one positive that you guys can be thankful for. You know, at least we got Dame locked up.
Yeah.
Almost holding him prisoner, maybe, but he signed the contract, so.
Yeah. And I don't think he's going to bail on this situation no matter how bad it gets. But yeah, this is the type of situation that happened towards the end of 2015 when Aldridge bailed. So luckily we won't have that problem. Yeah. But yeah, so I think as long as Dame continues to support Stotts, I don't think there's any chance that Olshey would have any inclination to do anything about it. If Dame starts to turn on him, like even if it's just behind the scenes or mention something to Olshey, then you could maybe see a situation where Olshey gets, an inkling to do something about it. But since they just signed those extensions, I doubt Jody would sign off on Olshey firing him after just this past summer convincing her to give him an extension. So. Yeah. And we have the highest payroll in the league, so it's not like it wouldn't hurt to add more money to that by doing things like firing Stotts when he's guaranteed money for 5 years or however long his extension.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So you got to go in about 5 minutes, so let's get the over-under stuff out of the way. Me and you had all the same picks on Monday. So what did we go? We went 4-2, I think.
We went 3-1-2 because there was 2 ties or pushes.
Okay. From now on, I probably wouldn't count ties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just don't even say the tie. You know what I mean? Because it would be a tie for everybody.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pushes, whatever.
So just ignoring those. I just wanted to mention there were 6 games.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what happened. So we went 3-1 in the 4 games that weren't pushes. The only one we lost was the Detroit game, and the chat was pretty bad. They were 1-3-2. So
come on, chat.
they tried to fade our bad picks, but it didn't work out for this time.
Yeah.
So overall, you're 8-10, and I'm 10-8.
Okay. In chat, we just started using
chat
1-3 as a third. Yeah. Chat's 1-3, so we're gonna say the spreads for games, and we're gonna make our picks, and then I'm gonna pick a random person in chat to pick for that game, and we're keeping a running total throughout the season. If chat does better than both of us, I'll have to do some sort of giveaway for that. That'll be your guys' prize. So anyway, you got the lines.
All right, so
here we go.
First of all home teams are favored tonight, and yes, that includes Portland, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, the first game is Memphis at Charlotte, and Charlotte is 2.5-point favorites.
I'm taking Memphis.
I'm also taking Memphis. I already wrote down my picks, so you can't accuse me of.
I've been riding with Memphis since our very first podcast when I picked them as a for sure over, and they've been competitive, man. I'm telling you, that's an underrated team. They've been competitive.
Yeah.
And then chat, we'll take D-Dog's pick too. I almost forgot chat. We'll take D-Dog's pick, and then we'll shout out some others. We'll do somebody different each time.
Okay. And then next game is Philadelphia at Orlando, and Orlando is 2.5-point favorites over Philly.
Philadelphia, what in the world? Is Embiid not playing? Did Embiid get in another fight we don't know about?
I did not see anything. They might have played last night is the only thing I can think of. I think they did play last night.
Philadelphia winning that game, man.
Yeah, even if they played last night, yeah. Or even if Embiid wasn't playing.
Yeah. We got 3 Phillies in chat, so we're just gonna take Philly for chat because
Orlando's
Lover Baseball says Embiid isn't. Oh, Embiid isn't playing. Yeah. Embiid isn't playing.
No, he's resting. It looks like.
Oh, okay. I'm taking Orlando.
You're switching.
I'm taking Orlando. Yeah, I'm taking
Even though
Orlando. I'm gonna
Orlando's
go
been
out on a limb.
brutal.
I think this. They got Vucevic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their matchup advantage. I think Orlando will play a little bit better. Without Embiid, I'm just going to take Orlando.
All right.
Risky pick, but I don't want to pick all the same picks you are. They're still picking Philly. Brian Scalabrine, still Philly. All right.
All right. So then we got Washington at Boston, and Boston is 7.5-point favorites.
Taking Boston.
I'm going with Boston too. At home, they've been playing pretty well, even with Hayward out. And much like Charlotte, and Orlando, Washington's not great, so I like them at home.
And actually, I'm gonna do it like this. Yeah, whatever you guys put the most in, I'll just So just say your pick right after we say it, and whatever team has the most.
Okay.
We got 6 Bostons, 1 Washington, so chat's going with Boston.
Sounds good. All right, and then we have the Clippers at the Rockets. Rockets are 2.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Clippers. Anytime the Clippers get points, it's pretty good in my book.
Is Paul George back yet?
He is playing tomorrow night, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna take Houston at home.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Houston on that one. Clippers just lost, or no, they just beat Toronto. Yeah, they beat Toronto.
Looks like chat's going Clippers for the most part.
Yeah, chat's going Clippers. I'm rolling with the Rockets. I don't even have any rhyme or reason to it.
By the way, if you guys, if any of you bet, I get these lines off the Oregon Lottery scoreboard app, and all these teams that are better but are road underdogs you can get good odds on them if you bet on them tonight. So maybe win some money.
I might need you to place a bet for me because I'm in Washington. But
all right, so then we got San Antonio at Minnesota. Minnesota is 1.5-point favorites.
Who are you taking?
I'm taking San Antonio. I just think they're the better team. I haven't been.
San Antonio's been playing bad, though.
Yeah.
They've been slumping.
I think they match
Minnesota's been playing solid. I'm going to take Minnesota.
All right. Good. We got
a lot of different picks, but San Antonio's just been really, really struggling. They have not been good. So looking at chat, we got Spurs, and then 3 T-Wolves. So 4 Spurs, 3. We got 4 T-Wolves, 5. I don't know. It's a tie. Hey, somebody who hasn't voted.
Dame Dalla, you got all you guys only vote once. Otherwise, it's hard to see who.
Yeah. And Trevin, who you taking between? He took Wolves. Okay.
All right. I'll just do Minnesota. All right. Then.
Oh, Alex Mead says T-Wolves. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
So Golden State at the Lakers. Lakers are 8-point favorites.
Lakers.
I'm taking Lakers too.
Yep.
Unlike us, they won't lose to that team.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I mean, I wish they would, but
Chat's got 2 Lakers. I'm assuming Chat's rolling with Lakers.
All right, and then the last game of the night is your Portland Trail Blazers hosting the Toronto Raptors. And for some unknown reason, well, I guess it's not unknown. The reason is that Lowry, Ibaka, and OG Anunoby are not playing tonight.
You always say Anunoby.
Yeah.
Anunoby. I gotta help you with your pronunciations.
Yeah.
Because I heard that in the past and I didn't say anything. Anunoby.
So yeah, Toronto is 4-point underdogs tonight.
So Blazers favored by 4. I'm gonna vote with my head and I'm gonna say Toronto.
All right. I'm gonna say Toronto too. I don't like
Portland's on second night of a back-to-back.
I don't like betting against my team, but the way they're playing right now, the fact that they're on a back-to-back, and they're playing a decent team, even players. Mm-hmm. Plus, they can still win.
Daniel.
Yeah, I'd rather them win than be right about this.
For sure, for sure. I gotta give a huge shout out to Daniel Koo, $20 donation. That's the largest donation in Blazers Uprise history. Keep up the great work, guys. Was gonna do Patreon, but realized I'd rather just donate here. Appreciate it, man.
Awesome, man.
Patreon, $10 a month gets you on this channel. So if you want to like come on a podcast or something, I owe you a spot just for that $20 donation anyway. Since that's huge, man. But also, if Patreon's a cool platform too. Greatly appreciate it. That's the biggest donation. That's the biggest donation in the history of this channel, man. I appreciate it. OG Anno New Boy. Cody Franklin. Every time you said that, I had to try not to laugh.
And you know what? I don't know if I trust you anymore because you're the one who said Waj. Was this how you said Woj?
I say Woj now. I used to say Waj, but I say Woj. I know it's Anunoby. I know it's Anunoby, though. You know what I mean? Like, I heard it on a broadcast. I was right about Pascal. I know, and I'm right about it's definitely not Anu boy.
Anu boy.
Oh my god, man. That's something Mike Rice would say, man. I wish we saw Mike Rice so he could just say Anu boy all game.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god, man. D-Dog 468.
I cannot believe though with how
what were you saying?
With how much Vegas tends to underrate us, how we can be 4-point favorites in this game.
Yeah. Travis and Dan on Rip City called you out. Called me out, called out the platform. Can you give me paraphrase a quote from them? Travis Demers and Dan Meringue. Oh boy. Dan Meringue called me out. I gotta hear this.
Hold on real quick. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, nailed it.
Antetokounmpo.
I just said it.
And you said Antetokounmpo. What'd you say?
Chat, I said it right?
What'd you say? Say it again.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You sound like Charles Antetokounmpo. Yeah. You said it differently first time, I swear. You got the Charles Barkley Mike Rice pronunciation guide, I guess. I'm about to start.
I haven't been doing this.
I mean, thank God the Raptors don't have Valenchuan sauce anymore.
Yeah.
I gotta get a quote from last I don't know how to say that. Last JL. Travis and Dammers on Rip City Radio called you out. I gotta hear this, man. I gotta hear this. I gotta hear this before we wrap this podcast. Because I mean, one of our podcasts last week,
that's on.
Chad Doing was tweeting, calling me out.
So real quick, the Pinwheel Empire thing. So they retweeted a Toronto tweet that said that they were bailing on the shoot around this morning because of all the injured guys.
Yeah.
And Pinwheel Empire tweeted something paraphrasing like, "Oh, Toronto doesn't even need practice to beat the Blazers." And then Dame put an emoji face back to them and unfollowed them on Twitter, which he has the right to do. But yeah, you probably don't want to piss off Dame if you're that guy.
First, okay, he was saying that firing Stotts from someone who played college ball couldn't understand a professional NBA coach. I'm assuming Dan Meringue said that. I'm gonna have to do a video on that, bro. We could try to call me out. I'm trying to be respectful towards his show, and he's gonna call me out on TV. All right, we can have some fun with this. We can have a little turf war. I know my community got my back. We're waving that Blazers Uprise flag. I need to get a Blazers Uprise flag hanging in the background, and then a little mini I can wave it.
Also, we've said numerous times that Stotts is not going to get fired, especially right now. It's just I don't get why people say like, "Oh, you think you should be fired? You're an idiot." Like, no, why not hold him to a higher standard? He's been the coach for this is his 8th season. He needs to do better. Like he cannot be making mistakes like he's making this year between not switching
Yeah.
picks and running Dame to the ground and stuff. Like we both agree that he's not going to get fired, but like he needs to hold himself more accountable and hold his players more accountable. And if that's hating on him, then I don't want a coach that wouldn't hold himself to the standards that we hold him to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, I never ever say, oh, I played college ball, so I know more than you. Or I played, you know what I mean? I avoid being that guy. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why he's going to say, you know, some of you play college ball and isn't going to understand NBA coach. It's like, okay, this is coming from the guy who didn't even play college ball? Wait, did he even play high school basketball? So I don't understand that dig there. Like how you try to dig on me playing college basketball as if that's not like, you know, as if I for some reason can't understand basketball and do, you know, that's something you'd hear from maybe an NBA player. You know what I mean? It makes sense if an NBA player played that. Okay, you played in the NBA and you understand an NBA coach more than I do. Okay. From Dan Marang, that's funny. And that's, you know, it's funny too, man, because I've tried, his show isn't for me. I've said that, but I've also said, you know, some people enjoy his show. His show's for other people. Like I don't call them out. I don't call these people out. They call me out. But that means, you know, I'm a little bit more visible now. You know what I mean? This platform's gonna grow, and it's gonna be talked about, and you know, I mean, it's gonna happen. And I'm already, you know, I already got Chad Doing randomly tweeting me in the middle of his vacation.
Well,
Chad Doing's my guy, and we met Travis Demers.
Yeah.
So we could have a conversation with Travis Demers. You know, Travis Demers isn't the type to call somebody out like that.
Yeah.
I don't think Travis Demers would call me out. I met him. Dude's a great guy. Dan Marang, we have a history with. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I don't know, man. Well, see, I know. I got my crew that is gonna ride with me.
Here's my problem, right? So this goes.
You think analytics geniuses ever made a 3 before? Oh my god, what were you saying?
So this kind of goes along with that. Okay, so you're actually, and I try to be the same way. Like we give specific examples of what we're talking about, X's and O's, game related stuff. And all these people ever come back with are, he made it to the Western Conference Finals. He's doing more with less talent than other teams.
You can't understand what's happening.
You don't understand what is happening because you didn't play in the NBA.
It's just surface level deflection. Yeah.
It's never, none of that stuff ever is actually combating what we're actually talking about. Like if you want to break it down and say, hey, in this situation, like at the end of the Philly game, you know, it was probably the wrong decision, but this is why it happened this way, and this is why I agree with him doing that, then that I can respect that. But to just say, like, he's a coach, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff from, like, Stotts defenders that I can't stand. I can understand if you like Stotts and you want to have a conversation about the stuff that we're talking about and you have a different interpretation on it, I can 100% respect that. Yep. And I love having that conversation with somebody who, like, interprets what they're saying a little bit different than me if they want to actually talk basketball. So people that don't want to talk basketball, they're on TV and they're, you know, calling me out, but they don't want to talk basketball. Or they're on radio, they're calling me out, they don't want to talk basketball. Don't call out the YouTuber. Okay? Yeah. If you're on TV, if you're on radio, it's not smart to call out the YouTuber.
Yep.
I shouldn't have to explain that. You don't call out the YouTuber, trust me, because this is I own this platform. They don't own Rip City Radio. They don't own NBC Sports Northwest. I can I can say whatever I want.
And
I can tweet whatever I want.
So
don't call out the YouTuber. I'm refrained and I have a filter, but also I'm a YouTuber. Don't call out the YouTuber, man. That's my only words of advice for anybody on TV, anybody in Portland Trail Blazers media who thinks about coming at me. The thing is, I also back up my stuff, and I'll troll you back. That's not a battle to pick with me.
Well, and you've gone out of your way to make sure you're not hostile towards their post-game show or anything when you're doing yours. Like you've said several times, like there's an audience for theirs and there's an audience for yours, and there's no disrespect either way.
And I respect their, I respect their takes, even if I disagree with them. I respect their show. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I throw no public shade like that.
Yep. Well,
So,
I'm off to the game, so
all right, man. I'll hit over to my whoops, wrong slide. There we go. All right, so I'll catch you later, maybe on the post game tonight after you get home. It's a bit of a drive for you, so I don't know if I'll still be on. Might have a long post game stream tonight just to chill and hang out. So when you get home, jump in the chat, and maybe we'll get you on about 45 minutes or however long it takes you to get home.
yeah, sounds good. And yeah, if you hear more about them starting to beef with you,
Bro, if you have DVR and can somehow save that. Because I'll make a video about it. I don't care. That'd be entertaining content. Little YouTube drama. YouTube drama is great for the views. So I'll milk that. Oh man. Dame Dollar says, yeah, you see it. All right. I hear you typing. All right, bro. Well, I'll catch you later. Hopefully, the Blazers get a win tonight. I didn't realize so many players were hurt, so they have more of a chance than I thought. Hopefully, we're able to get that dub. Hopefully, you enjoy the game.
thanks, guys. Thanks for listening, tuning in, and yeah, it'd be nice to get this one tonight because we're really struggling.
For sure.
All right.
For sure. All right.
Later.
I'll catch you later. Yep. Alrighty. Skype is bright. There we go. That's better. So I'll have the post game show tonight. I know I missed a bit of chat. You guys are cracking me up. Let me. Uprise Army will hunt the haters, says Nico's Codicus. I love it. All Chad does when he doesn't know what to say is he just calls people names. From Dante Nero. I am a fan of Chad though, man. I am a fan of Chad. I'm a fan of Travis Demers. I'm a fan of those guys' show. You know what I mean? So, if any of you can get a clip of that, if you're watching it or something, I don't know if anybody can get a clip of that. Please get a clip of that. I would love to have a clip of that. Did they name drop me or did they just say college? Guy who played college basketball. I'm rolling through chat here, man. Blazers are winning because Eric is going to be there, hopefully. Brian Scalabrine, Torrey recently. I think having K-Love is starting to warm up. We'll definitely see. Trade deadline is going to be very entertaining this season. I'm very excited to cover the trade deadline. We should have a live stream on trade deadline day. We could maybe, break the news before you guys hear it. That'd be cool. 8 Up says, you look like you played at a community college. I did play at a community college. I think I could have went D2. My knees kind of quit on me. But yeah, I played at a community college. It's a lot better competition than people realize too. We had a solid team. Michael Slayton, wait, you were called out on live TV? Apparently, man. Apparently, these guys love giving me content from my live podcast. Chad Doing called me out on Twitter about a week ago during my podcast, and apparently I just got called out by Dan Meringue on Rip City Drive. So yeah, they didn't name drop you, but they were definitely talking about you, bro. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I definitely, yeah. Who else would they be talking about? Who else specifically? The thing is, I don't even really mention that I played college basketball. Like, you watch me a lot. You guys watch me a lot. How much have I mentioned that I've played college basketball? I'll mention it for, like, a story, or I'll mention it to, like, accentuate a point, like, just trying to, like, draw off experience. But I don't act like I'm better because I played college basketball, so I don't know why they're even bringing it up. That's kind of weird that they brought it up. But, hey, man. Did Travis, was that Dan that said that, or was that just Travis? Living rent free in Chad's head. Chad isn't on that show, and I like Chad. And me and Chad agree on some things. We disagree on stats. And he doesn't really respect my viewpoint on stats. That's what I've came to realize. He doesn't. He's a huge stats fan. Thing is, I'll go on air, I'll go on TV, and I'll debate him. and I'll bring the same analysis that you guys see now, and I'll bring it to the airwaves. And if he's saying stuff like Dan said in response to me bringing facts, then that would be very, very entertaining. I'm just gonna say. Nikos Carter-Chris, you've mentioned that True Blazer fan, but rarely. I don't know what you mean by that. They watching every video and podcast? Maybe they are, man. Hey, if they're watching my stuff, then appreciate it. Travis said that. Wow, I thought Dan would have said that. Travis, man. I just met Travis like 2 weeks ago. He is a big Stotts homer, but I didn't think Travis would call me out. Damn, man, I just met the dude. We had a good conversation, dude. I was even like, hey, man, respect what you do, fan of the show. Would love to give some feedback on my content. Maybe you watched my content, saw I didn't like Stotts, and then called me out. I don't know. Marcos Ugarte says, you do talk about playing college ball a lot, though. When? I'm not talking about it every podcast at all. Maybe they just wanted to drive traffic to you and he didn't know how to say, hey, man, you know what? Travis could call me out, and I know that dude's like a stand-up guy, so I wouldn't even, like, that's fine. You know what I mean? He disagrees with me. I just think it's funny. That's the thing. Not personal at all. I think it's funny that people on live TV are calling out the YouTuber. Means we're doing a little something here. He talks about it every 3 to 4 podcasts. Yeah, I mean, and it's not like I'm, going into stories about it like crazy. You know what I mean? I try and I have experience playing college basketball, okay? A lot of people would see the level I play at and been like, oh, that's an awful level of basketball. But I did learn things playing college basketball that I wouldn't have otherwise known if I didn't play college basketball. And, I'm sure their whole point is, oh, well, you would learn things playing in the NBA that you can't know if you don't play in the NBA. Well, that's true. It's still... I still know basketball. I can still draw up our sets. I can still break down film of our sets, what our sets are trying to accomplish, where guys are moving. I can still analyze ball movement. I can still analyze the way our systems ran. I can still recognize a defensive scheme on the pick and roll and how we only run one no matter what the situation is, and how we don't switch it up to keep teams off balance, how we don't switch it up given the situation until we really, really have to, until after a game 1 of the Western Conference Finals where we run the same pick and roll scheme we ran all season long in the worst situation possible because of the way that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson can shoot the ball, and they kill us, and then national media is clowning on Terry Stotts. I can recognize basketball, man. So that's what I don't like with the Stotts defenders, man. And if you want to talk about basketball, invite me on the show. It'd be entertaining content. Help their ratings a little bit. Yeah, I mean, sure they don't need the help in the ratings. That was a pretty weak flex, but yeah, I keep it 100, man. And that's the thing, is if you have an opinion that they don't disagree with, they just kind of belittle you and downplay what you could bring to the table in terms of a different perspective. So, but all in all, Travis Demers is a great guy. I'm just surprised that he referencing me. If you gonna call me out, name drop me. I might have to tweet a little something. But yeah, I'll tweet a little something, see if he responds. And I'll have an update on the post-game show tonight. Did I go to Caldwell College? No, I went to Columbia Basin College. I hated living in Tri-Cities. I was super homesick. My knees were crap. Mike Posner, you were right about Hazonia. I didn't want to be right about Hazonia, honestly. It sucks that I'm right. Which is rare to, most people, they want to be right regardless. I didn't want to be right on Hazonia, but dude's not just going to come into a better system and immediately be a different player. Hit me, HN, flare screen over and over again. Gotta love running around the perimeter. Thing is, I'd bring up, do we set UCLA screens? Do we set back screens? Do we set cross screens for bigs to get a deeper position than 15 feet away from the rim? Because that's the thing, when you dribble the ball up the side of the court and a guy's trying to post up, he gets pushed away. He gets pushed to about 15 feet out. Then you finally throw the ball into him, and then he's not working from a place of strength because he's 15 feet away from the rim. The thing is, if I could record games, if I knew how to record games, I could break down more film, and I will at some point have like a film video. You know what I mean? Like, I will at some point break down film, and they won't be able to dispute it. You know what I mean? Or maybe they could. I don't know. But I'm not gonna sit here and say take shots like that. I'll just bring the heat when I get shots taken at me. Eugene David Tori, you missed my question, bro. Hey Tori, important question here from Eugene David. He says, hey Tori, important question here with a smiley face. Do you think I'll get my Nuggets this game? We only scored 99 points last game, and I might be without dinner tonight. Hopefully we get Nuggets tonight, man. Yeah, we were 1 away. That's rough. Hopefully Eugene gets his Nuggets. I don't. Win is priority number 2 is winning the game. Priority number 1 is the Blazers need to get Eugene his Nuggets. I've been eating too many Nuggets lately, honestly. The Huskarl, I don't know how to say that. What's a good place in Vancouver to play b-ball if I never played in high school or anything? Maybe 24-hour fitness. I play in a rec league that's like pretty competitive and has a lot of good players in it. It's also a gym that you have to pay $60 a month to go to, and it has like a $200 initiation fee, so I'm not going to recommend that, but maybe like a 24-hour fitness. LA Fitness always has a bunch of like super competitive tryhards in there, and LA Fitness pickup runs are pretty toxic in my opinion. So I don't really have a great answer to that. Who matches up with Siakam tonight? Probably Hazonia. Nasir Little would be a good option at some point as well. What years did I play? Played 2015, 2016. I graduated from Columbia River High School 2014. Played college ball 2015, 2016. Was going to go back and be like probably their number 1 option because everybody left after we had a 4th place finish. Like we had a team that had a chance at winning our championship. It was like 33 teams. We had a super deep team, so I didn't really get much of a chance. Lost my confidence, my knees. I don't have the best knees. Like there's a bunch of swelling under my kneecap, so I didn't have a great college season. And then met a girl, stayed here, didn't go back to Tri-Cities, didn't go back to Columbia Basin College. So, Hood playing tonight. Hood is listed as probable, but I think it was listed as probable going into last game, and then he didn't play. So we'll have to see. Back spasms are kind of unpredictable, but hopefully we got Hood playing. Sorry if I missed some of your guys' questions. Good question, AH. I'm looking for AH's question. What's the best scenario if Blazers drop Stotts? I'm a fan of Ettore Messina. It's a dude who was an assistant coach for the Spurs the past couple of years. He's a foreign guy. I think he's Italian. I don't really know his nationality. I think he might be Italian. But he's a guy who I've watched multiple coaches' clinics on. I've seen about 6 to 7 hours of his coaching clinics, like hour-long videos where he talks about some of his philosophies and some of his some of the ways he likes to defend screens, like all the way down to detailed portions of it, like the footwork as a defender to best deal with a screen in a certain type of scheme. The thing is, I educate myself on this type of stuff. So that's why I think it's funny when people try and take shots like, oh, you don't understand it because you can't understand an NBA coach. I've watched so many clinics from NBA coaches to educate myself on these types of stuff, and they want to take shots at my knowledge. Somehow, me playing college basketball means I don't know what I'm talking about. It literally makes no sense. That's a bad dig. For anybody new, Travis Demers apparently said on Rip City Radio on TV, referenced something about people who have played college basketball thinking they know enough to say that Stotts should be fired. Oddly specific if it wasn't about me. Corey Norris says, I heard on the podcast that Scow doesn't know how to know the playbook for the 4. He's been here since the trade deadline last season. If he doesn't know the playbook from the 4, that probably means that they haven't been practicing with him as the 4. Probably means they've only been practicing with him as the center. There's no way he shouldn't be able to know the playbook from the 4. And even not knowing the playbook from the 4, I still think that he's still a better option than Anthony Tolliver. Brian Scalabrini. Tori, you feel like you made a mistake for not accepting that trade since Bogdanovich dropped 27 fantasy points for me? LOL. I mean, if Bogdanovich dropped 27 fantasy points per game, then, obviously it would have been a good trade to make. But just looking at the evidence that I had at the time, it was not a good trade to make. And, even if Bogdanovich turns into LeBron James, still, I only had the information that I had at the time. So that's all I could base it off of. Mitch Richmond reported it. I assume it's true. I mean, stuff like that doesn't really get reported unless it's true. I'm not, I assume it's true. It's just I don't understand why he wouldn't know the playbook from the 4. He's played the 4 throughout his career. He has the skill and the ability to play the 4, and he's our best option at the 4 right now. He has to play backup center, but he should be getting at least some power forward minutes alongside Whiteside. And the thing is, a lot of our sets involve a structure where it's 2 bigs instead of like a power forward and center. A horn set is one of them. The horn set is when you have guys at the elbows. You got guys down the corners, and you throw it to one of the big men at the elbows. You can throw it to either side, and then depending on which side you throw it to, the play develops like usually you'll throw it to one side, and then you'll run off that guy and down screen for the guy in the corner. That guy usually comes up for a handoff in our offense. You can throw that to either big and run it on either side of the floor. So, there is no difference between the 4 and the 5. It just depends on who the ball gets thrown to, which big the ball gets thrown to. So, he could run some sets as the power forward, since there's no difference between the 4 and the 5 in certain sets. It just depends on what side of the floor it starts on. And the 4 doesn't have a ton of responsibility in our offense. There was quotes coming from the team before the preseason during training camp that the 4 doesn't have as much responsibility as the 5 does. So I don't understand how Scow wouldn't know our system from the 4. D-Dog says, yo, what do you think the first thing those guys bragging on you will say after Stotts gets fired? They'd call it a mistake if it happened. I'm also not saying fire Stotts right now, so it's also not 100% correct. I said fire Stotts in 2018, the summer of 2018, after he got embarrassed in the first round against the Pelicans. Should have hired Mike Budenholzer. Look what Mike Budenholzer has done with Milwaukee. That team is the favorite to come out of the East this season. He's turned that team from a fringe playoff team to a bona fide contender. Now, Giannis did get better. Some of their players did get better, but a big part of that was Mike Budenholzer as well. Whiteside is getting so much hate from Blazers fans, says Zach O'Calipano. It is sad. I do think Whiteside is getting a little bit too much hate. Numbers look good. Obviously, there's more to it than just putting up good numbers, but he's been hurt. He's had leg, knee, foot injuries. So he's not as quick, as agile, as athletic as he actually is. So a lot of people think he's playing lazy. I think it's just more the injuries. And he does have a problem of becoming disengaged at times. I'll admit that, but it's that Whiteside is not the problem. Monty Williams would have been nice. Jay Wright and Lionel Hollins would be upgrades for me. I do like Jay Wright. Not a huge fan of Lionel Hollins. Monty Williams is good for like a young team to motivate them to play hard and give them a solid like basic structure. Terry Stotts would be a good coach for a rebuilding team. He'd be a great coach for a rebuilding team. He'd be maybe the best coach in the league for a rebuilding team. Just not for a team trying to contend. Doesn't have the attention to detail required for a team to win a championship. I mean, honestly though, if we had the right roster, we could win a championship with him. I'm not going to say, that we couldn't win a championship with him. I shouldn't say that, but dude isn't the best coach for a contending team or a team trying to contend. Do I think Nasir should start tonight? I do think Nasir should start tonight. Put him on Siakam. See how he does. He'd provide the crowd some energy. He'd provide the lineup some energy. And if he struggles 4 minutes in, then okay, bring in Hazonia. It's not like Hazonia's been much better than Nasir Little would be, even if Nasir Little struggled. So I'd start Nasir Little tonight. I'd also, no matter what, play Nasir Little over Anthony Tolliver because Anthony Tolliver is not getting the job done. Thoughts on the Mavs' new jerseys? I haven't seen them. Tweet a picture of them to me, and I'll let you know what I think on Twitter. If you guys don't follow me, at Torrey Jones YT. Unfortunately, no one's thoughts he won't get much minutes from Daniel Koo. Also, huge shout out again to Daniel Koo, who dropped a $20 donation earlier. Biggest donation I've ever gotten. Greatly appreciate it, my guy. So I'm going to wrap up this podcast. It's almost 5 o'clock. This was about an hour-long podcast for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see if anything more comes out of me being called out on live TV. We'll see if anything happens. I'll tweet at Travis Demers. I'll say something like, "Who's this college basketball guy who doesn't like Stotts? Who are you talking about?" And we'll see what happens with that. But I'll have the post-game show tonight. I need to get out a mailbag. I've been posting them on like Wednesdays, Thursdays, so it's not like you guys have gone 2 weeks without one. But I am trying to get back to Monday. I keep saying that every week, and I keep putting it off on Monday. I think we've had a game pretty much every Monday the past couple of weeks, so it's made it more difficult because we have our podcast Monday and then game and then post-game show. So I need to get out that mailbag. I'll probably get it out tomorrow. Didn't want to get it out today because we had podcast and game, and it was had our live stream last night that went awry. Thankfully this one's been much better, so it was just the internet last night being spotty. But yeah, we're also that daily scoop. It's going to be a weekly scoop. I didn't update you on that. I was planning on updating that in the mailbag. Also, Holy Backboard. We're not going to upload their podcast. We're still waiting on Trailcasters, which is a Trailcasters podcast I'm excited for. That's a really good podcast. I'm excited to introduce you to those guys. One of their hosts is technical director at Rip City Radio. And he's a guy that's like a really cool guy that I've talked with regularly. And it's him and Ty Delbridge, and then I got Peeps and Plaid. Tomorrow should have mailbag, and then I'll have some trade talk videos because I know like that's the easiest thing to get us through a rough spot is trade talk. Because if we're struggling, got to try and improve the team via trade. I also might do some like videos where I'm highlighting upcoming prospects in this next year's draft, because if we're going to lose games, might as well get excited over prospects. There's some really intriguing prospects in this next year's draft. Hopefully we're not drafting in the lottery, but I'm going to talk about some of the prospects at the top of the draft so you guys can maybe like watch them for the next year, considering, just in case this season goes absolutely sideways. Hopefully it doesn't. I don't think it will, but the diehard Blazer fan, I'm a new subscriber from Sweden. I really appreciate the content. Appreciate the subscription, man. Shout out to the diehard Blazer fan from Sweden. We got people all over the world. We're international. We are international. We got Nikos Koda Chris been in here from he's from Greece. Got some people from Australia, so appreciate it, man. Eugene David, hey Tori, what do you do for work? I'm going to start driving for Amazon Flex. That's the plan. I got to get a car loan. I get some money from going to school. Just a little like stipend thing. and I'm not gonna go into why. And then I get some money from YouTube. I don't know how to say the dude's name from Taiwan because it's I can't read that, but shout out to the dude from Taiwan. Dame Dolla's from Oregon. Shout out to Dame Dolla from Oregon. But yeah, anyway, gonna wrap this up. How old am I? I'm 23 years old. Almost 23 and a half. 23 years old, so still decently young. But yeah, we're going to wrap up this podcast. As I said, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for that mailbag. Stay tuned for a trade talk video. I know I've been teasing it. I'll get it out for you guys. We got 2 days off between the game tonight and the game that'll be on Saturday. So I'll get those 2 videos out for sure. Last question, prediction for tonight's game. Honestly, with how poorly the Blazers have been playing, I think Toronto's probably going to knock off Portland. I think we're going to really struggle with Siakam. It's probably not what you guys necessarily want to hear. I hope we win, but Portland is favored by 4. I took Toronto in our over-under that we do every podcast. I took Toronto. I also didn't realize when I took that bet that Lowry and Ibaka are out. I think somebody else is out too, so I think Portland does have a decent chance to win this game. Blazers just got to play better than how they've been playing. If they play like how they've been playing, this is going to be a really tough game to win. We got to do a good job on Siakam. That's where this game starts. We got to do a good job on Siakam. We got to move the ball better. Got to get out in transition. We got to get easier buckets. We got to get guys buckets around the rim. We got to get more interior shots. That's the keys to tonight's game. So I'll catch you guys after the game. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at ToryJonesYT because I always live tweet the game. Sometimes I'm just venting about the struggles that I'm seeing. Sometimes I'm getting hyped about something good. So follow me on Twitter. Engage with me. If I don't follow you and you end up engaging with me a lot, then I'll end up following you at some point. So anyway, my phone just died, so the chat's gone. So that means it's time to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.